my channel. So today's tutorial, super easy. I'm going to be showing you how to create just kind of decorative Easter plates using the plates from Dollar Tree. Basically, I went to Homegoods and like there were so many pretty plates and I wanted them just for decoration, not actually to eat on top of. But you know, they're not necessarily expensive. It's like $3.99 for one, but when you want to get a bunch of them, then that's when it gets pricey. So I was like, you know what, let me go home and try to make them myself. This one in particular looks a lot like something I saw at HomeGoods, and then the ones that have like the lamb and then just like the vintage looking bunny, they remind me of like shabby chic decor or even Victorian decor. Just depends how you make it. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. Let's see if we can get this video to 5,000 thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not, and hit the bell button so you're notified every single time that I upload. With that being said, let's begin the tutorial.
So I went to HomeGoods, I saw this plate, $3.99. I wanted more of them, but I was not going to spend $3.99 on a bunch of plates, and then the bigger ones were like $6.99. Girl, bye, no. So instead, I went to Google and I typed in vintage Easter bunny. You're going to run into a lot of creepy pictures if you type that in. You'll have to scroll through it to find some good stuff, or you can type vintage Easter bunny drawings, and that will help take away lots of the really creepy images. What you'll do is you'll save the pictures you like and then print them out and cut them out. You might have to resize some of the pictures depending on the plate that you bought, and I do all of my resizing in Microsoft Paint. I don't have a fancy software. I don't know how to use anything fancy. I use Microsoft Paint when I resize. So I have a bunch of different pictures that I printed out, and I used regular printing paper. You don't really want to use a photo printing paper. I feel like it's going to be harder to attach to the plate. So I used regular printing paper. And what I do is I use a scissor to cut out the image of the bunny. I have this picture right here, and this picture looked the most like any of the HomeGood plates that I saw. Now from Dollar Tree, you want to get some plates. I'm using just regular white plates, ones that are just round and ones that have like a square edge to them. And you're also going to be using Mod Podge. So what you're going to do is you're going to put Mod Podge on the back of the image that you cut out, and then you're going to place that on top of the plate. Now, what you could do after this is add more Mod Podge on top of that image to really kind of seal it to the plate, or you could just not do it at all. And for this one, I didn't do it at all. I thought that it looked nice without the Mod Podge on it, and I'm not eating off of these plates. They are purely for decoration. I'm not about to eat off of this thing that I put a bunch of glue on top of. No thank you, ma'am. I ain't trying to go to the hospital today. So instead, it's just for, you know, decor, and so I didn't put it on this one. Now, this next one I'm showing you guys, I did add Mod Podge on top of the image after I put it on top of the plate. So I really liked this one. This one had the square edging on the plate, and I went ahead and I cut the image to kind of mimic that edging, and then I glued it down to the center of the plate. Once that was glued down, I then added a layer of Mod Podge on top of the image. You want to use Mod Podge or a glue similar, one where it's like a sealer and it's going to dry clear if you put it on top of an image. You don't really want to use regular school glue because it's not going to have the same effect. Instead, it's just going to have a weird film over the image, and then it's probably going to start flaking on you. Now for this particular image and another one that I did, I used the end of my paintbrush to push the image inward while it was still kind of wet, so the image was kind of crunching on the sides. I don't know if that makes sense, but it was just kind of like bubbling and just doing this effect of being kind of like ripped paper. And I don't know, I just like the way it looked, just because, you know, the cuts with my scissor, they weren't like the best, sharpest cuts. So to kind of take away from that, I just kind of moved the paper around and lifted it up a little bit so it was kind of crinkling, and that way it looked more like it was meant to look that way rather than I just suck at cutting things with a scissor. Then I wanted to define the border of this, so I took a metallic marker and I just traced the outer edges of the image. And once I had that layer on, I actually took a makeup wipe. So you don't have to use a makeup wipe. You can also use just like a wet piece of tissue or something and just kind of rub the marker off. So, you know, you get rid of that really harsh line that you just made with the marker, but you leave enough of it on top of the paper so that it makes the paper look really vintage and old and just kind of antique. It looks really cool to do it this way. Part of me kind of wanted to also like burn the edges of the paper, but I was afraid that, you know, like with my luck, I would set my house ablaze, so I opted for this instead. And I did the same thing to the one that I made with a lamb, but with the one that I made with a lamb, I actually printed out a floral background and I cut it to fit a smaller circle plate from Dollar Tree. I glued that background down and then I put a lamb over it, which I thought was pretty cool. And then I added Mod Podge on top of that, so there was a layer on top of the image. And then I did the same thing with the marker. I traced the outer edges of the image, and then I used a makeup wipe to take away the excess marker, and then it just kind of aged the outside of it a bit. If you don't have a printer, Dollar Tree does have Easter cards you could use. The shine, I think, is going to be different. Like, hopefully the Mod Podge would help take away from it being too shiny. But that's a good option if you don't have a printer. Remember, you could do this on anything pretty much. You can also do it on their coffee mugs, their glasses, the wine glasses if you wanted to. You're not just limited to the plates, but that's how you create some decorative plates and coffee mug, whatever, using Dollar Tree products and your printer at home. And it's just so much less expensive than if you had to buy a bunch of plates and cups at Homegoods, which Homegoods is actually, like, it's cheaper to buy it there compared to other places. So yeah, go on and decorate your house. Thank you so much for watching today's DIY. I will see you guys tomorrow with a haul. Take care. Bye.